Hi guys, today we're going to talk about different parting styles. I'm going to tell you what I think about all of them and which one I like the best, if you can't already tell. Let's go. So it's probably pretty obvious from looking at my pictures that my preference is squares. But that's not just because it's my preference. It's actually because it seems to create the healthiest lock. Besides squares, I've seen triangles, diamonds, rectangles, something somebody called seashells one time. And then there's the most common one that I see, which I call the infamous grab and twist method, which creates a lot of random sizes. The thing about your head though is that it doesn't have random sized curls on it. It has very specific sized curls, specific to you. And those curls have a place that they are trying to sit if they were able to organize themselves. The thing about squares is that circles sit comfortably on squares without too much pulling coming from the corners. And when you're talking about curl, there will be pulling coming from the corners if the corners are reaching too far from where the curl is. In order to organize it properly, you want to find where the curl sits comfortably. And since a curl is in essence a circle, it needs to sit on a square in order to sit comfortably. And I can't tell you how many people have told me, I love the diamond partings you gave me in the top once they're hair locks or whatever. And I have to be like, I did not give you diamond partings. I gave you square partings. The only reason you think that they're diamond partings is because a square and a diamond are literally the same shape, just seen from a different angle. So if you have squares, you will have diamond partings when you see your styles. The problem with putting diamond partings from jump instead of doing squares where you try to purposely make it look like diamonds is when you go to style it, it ends up looking like squares because of the angle that the styles go in. If you put it on a triangle, you're going to have at least two corners that are pulling too far from the curl, or you're going to have half a square that's not large enough to sustain the lock. Squares can be twisted in any direction and the curl will maintain its position. A rectangle forces the curl in the direction that the wide side of the rectangle points in. With rectangle partings, you can only twist two directions, not all the way around. With rectangle partings and triangle partings, you're limited in the directions you can twist in. If you twist in other directions, it will result in the scalp area being lumpy instead of smooth. And the people do not like that. The worst part about rectangle partings is if they're too big, they will create a flat lock. And I'm gonna put the seashell method and the grab and twist method in the same category because for some reason they just can't seem to get them to look uniform in any type of way. When they just grab a chunk of hair and twist it, there's large sizes, there's small sizes, and then when they're even trying to purposely make these round shapes, which I admit would match the size, the shape of the curl, which is round, they can't get any type of consistency. There's always, weird shapes around the edges. There's always tiny ones next to big fat ones that just don't make sense, because once again, your curl pattern is consistent all over your head. The only place that's different is around the hairline, and in the top is generally a looser curl pattern, but not a lot looser, very slightly looser. So if your curl pattern is consistent all over your head, but your partings are inconsistent all over your head, you're going to end up with inconsistent locks. It is easiest to keep squares consistent, which is why they are obviously the best choice when starting locks. Whether it's yours or a client's or a friend's, if you're giving them advice, tell them they need to find someone that can make them consistent with the shape and size of their curl pattern with squares. Seriously though, guys, triangles are usually painful, where the lock is pulling too far from the corners. Rectangles limit the direction you can twist your locks in, and they also can lock flat. Diamonds are just squares seen from a different angle. Don't ask for diamonds, ask for squares, and then your styles will look like they have diamonds. I get asked a lot, how do I get them to stay without clips? And the answer is, if you do them the right size and the right shape, and you start with the comb as close to the scalp as you can get it, they just stay. A few other reasons I prefer squares above everything else is that they're super easy to clean, and it's easy to find parts when it's time for maintenance. This method makes the hair lock quickly in a perfectly round, smooth tube. For the sake of not having the title be clickbait, the worst is the grab and twist method. Ugh, awful. That is not how you start locks. What are y'all doing out there? No. And granted, it is not easy to get these consistent over the entire head. It takes practice and it takes a lot of patience. But if you or the person doing your locks is trying their best to make sure that they are close to squares that match the curl pattern size as possible, I promise you will have a head full of hair that you love in no time. And the best part is, while everybody else is trusting their struggle journey, yours is gonna be a breeze. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I make another video. Thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one.